you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.
Welcome back to the Throne of the Dragon podcast, the show that covers each and every episode of HBO's House of the Dragon. I'm Josh, and with me, as always, is my buddy, my partner in dragon crimes, Curtis. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
How are we feeling? We are here immediately after the airing of episode 1 of season 2. I was a little too excited going into this episode. I was thinking about it all day.
Is it okay? So you're too excited, you said. Did by the time it was over, were you like, oh, still good, but oh, you
No,
know what I mean?
I was still pretty hype, and especially
Okay.
the
I just didn't know like if you psyched yourself up too much.
no, and especially the little bit that they give you after the credits that feels like it's going to be like the next several episodes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Definitely got me hyped up.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think they did that in the first season too, after episode one. It was like more of a not like on the next episode, but on the season to come. Yeah.
Well, I went a little too far the first time, and then I was backtracking through it, and I was like, "Oh my God, how long is this thing? They're giving away too much."
No, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Yeah, I almost didn't watch, but I want to preface this with, um, the next 8 weeks we're going to be talking pretty much show only, and to keep that relatively spoiler free and fun for everybody. I don't want to do a bunch of book relation stuff while we're doing this. We can talk about some of that stuff more when we do um, our episode after the season's over, kind of the recap, and we can talk about some similarities and differences. But we'll get more heavy into that when we come back a couple weeks after season 2 ends, where we pick up in Fire and Blood where we left off. So doing show only, Curtis.
Show topics only, people.
Yeah,
Book is
want to
off
be getting
limits.
some good show predictions. Um, but I want to get some of your immediate feelings from the episode tonight.
Well, can
I
I
let me
start?
let me
No, go
say
ahead.
that I was wrong. I was wrong. I thought, I made the claim on our last episode that I thought episode 1 would end with um, a really big cliffhanger, but not the actual act happening.
Right, yeah.
And boy, were we wrong, my friend.
Wrong.
Yeah.
It's
But yeah,
it's we are about 5 to 10 minutes into the first episode of season two, and Josh is already wrong.
and I am wrong.
Let me just
Um,
tally that up there real quick there.
yeah, give me some of your initial reactions after this.
Okay, so I want to start with the intro, the title, the
Oh,
credits.
so
Dude,
good.
did they not like step it up another notch?
Yeah, the one for
That's
season
so
1 was
good,
pretty
man.
cool, but this was on another level.
Yes. And I think for me personally, with what we did in the off season of reading Fire and Blood, knowing the things that we know, it took me the first time through to go, holy crap, there's Magor with the sword in his throat. And
Yeah,
I
and
was like,
then
oh, that's
Jairus and
sick. And then
Alysanne
Jairus and
together when
Allison,
they're
oh,
younger.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Great Council, and then yeah, it was just beautiful the way that they did that, man. I loved it. It kind of took me a moment at the very beginning to try to figure out, okay, what's going on. But then once I saw Magor on the throne dead, I was like, okay, I know what's
Clicks
going
for
on
you.
here. Yeah, I was like, okay, here we go. And so I had to go back after I got done watching it the first time, go back through and try to see if I could try to pick out some more stuff from the on the beginning side of that. But great, dude. They like I said, they that intro last year, the opening credits was great. I enjoyed that, but I feel like they definitely took it up another notch this year.
It just didn't
Um,
feel okay. So in Game of Thrones,
mm,
with what they show you, it feels like you're getting little bits of the story. You
right.
know, it's flashing the lion and the stag and the dire wolf and the dragon. But in season one, you just got all of their different like badges or emblems or whatever for each king, and some of them aren't even kings, but like for all these different Targaryens.
Right.
And yeah, so
It
I
was
don't know.
that would be more of like you would have to know. I feel like to appreciate season one's opener, you would have to know a lot more about the actual Targaryen history and the people in it and whatnot. Because I can remember the first time seeing it, I was kind of like, I don't know really what's going on here.
Yeah. And
Like
it's
just blood
interesting. They
flowing
do
everywhere,
it
but all right.
they do it a little bit in the style of season one where like all the the cities that it shows are like rising up and they're all very
Right.
mechanical and everything.
Yeah.
Um, before you go on, did this make you think of that Helena scene from season one, the dragons of flesh weaving dragons of thread?
Oh no, I didn't think about that. But I mean, that's now that you
That
say
like
that, I can see the
immediately
both.
popped in my
Yeah.
head. When I started
Okay.
seeing like all the dragon stuff, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, that's kind of a cool little relation to
Nice.
it.
Little nod. Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's interesting. Um, speaking of Queen Helena, the rats, Josh. Hmm? The rats?
The rats.
The
Yeah,
rats.
another
Yeah.
another prophecy.
And I do like how through the beginning of the episode, it's like you see the rat catcher. Yeah, he's got some rats, cheese. Um, but there's a couple of scenes after that where it's like he's just kind of like in the background, just kind of walking. It's like, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
But um, I don't want to jump around too much. Um,
What while you're, you mentioned that scene with Helena,
yeah,
um, I found Aegon just more comical in this
I
episode,
liked him in this episode. Yeah.
but he is starting to remind me a little too much of Viserys in Game of Thrones.
Okay. Yeah.
And like he's starting to have that look a little bit and kind of the way he talked a little bit at times. I was just like, ugh.
Yeah. I feel like Viserys was more annoying than him, but
Yeah. But
yeah.
he was cracking me up a few times.
Yeah. His
And
acting was pretty funny.
yeah. And then even in like, the throne room where he's like, well, I mean, but he came all this way though.
Yeah.
We
Can
just
we
give
just
that
make an
guy his
exception
sheet
for one
back.
guy? I mean, come on,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that's yeah. And it's funny because like you're seeing with him, you're seeing kind of the struggle of like just trying to be king. I mean, at that even in the point of like in the throne room there when he's taking all the the small folk coming up and bringing their problems to him. And then Otto's just keeps stepping in, and it's like he's not. I mean, you can tell he's still very young into his kinghood. It doesn't feel like he was given much education on how to make good decisions, in times like that.
Well, I mean,
Because,
he was
I
not
mean,
raised to be the king.
right. Yeah, exactly. Which is weird because it's like, I mean, yeah, I mean, this whole time it's like, Rhaenyra is supposed to be the heir, but I mean, you would think they would have at least given him some type of education, But
I
then
mean, I
again, he
think
was always just kind
Viserys
of like,
was
yeah,
really, he really dug in deep on that,
yeah,
on Rhaenyra being his heir. And yeah, I don't even think he was going to entertain the possibility that Aegon might need to rule,
yeah.
especially when Rhaenyra has kids of her own.
He's struggling though, man. You can tell. He wants to do right. He wants to do it good, but it's tough, man, when you're just kind of thrusted into that position.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to be babysit, basically, by Otto. Um, Kristen Cole, the man whore, Josh. Hmm?
Oh my God. Yeah, I guess that's going to be a
That
thing.
who had on their bingo card that his first appearance in the episode in the season was the way that it was.
It's going to be face down and
God, it's just it's like,
yeah,
what the heck, man?
I didn't have that.
Yeah, I didn't either. I was kind of like, oh, who's that? And I was like, oh,
Nope.
it better not be
There he is.
Kristen. Come on now.
Oh,
Yeah, and
crusty
then of
Cole.
course, oh God, and then I love her line at the end of that scene is like, we can't anymore. And like 20 minutes later, they're right back at it. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
And then
it's
you
like
see
Elaine
him
and Putty.
again. Yeah. You see him again in the trailer for the rest of the season.
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So that's
Is there
definitely going
there
to be a
must
thing.
yeah, there must be a time jump. Have you noticed him? His hair's kind of cut. He grows out his beard more, I think.
No, I mean, I think that's probably while they're just out there.
Okay.
Like, while they're out on the campaign trail, because no more time really passes. Like, this is all just happening kind of one thing after another now.
Okay. I just kind of wondered about that.
Yeah, I think it's just being out there in the field for so long.
Right. What about you, Josh? Anything big stuck out to you? What's the big major thing?
Um, I mean, the stuff in the north was cool because it's just like kind of a one-off thing.
Hmm.
Like, we're not gonna go back north. Like,
Oh,
no, Jace is already here. Like, we're not going back that way.
but I missed the North.
Yeah.
Missed the
Well,
North
that
already, man.
I hope you enjoyed that because that's it.
Because that's all you're
Um,
getting.
and we're gonna get a lot of northerners, but it's not gonna, that's gonna be down the road. I mean, right now they can only send 2,000
Right.
men to help out. So
Yeah, I did enjoy the kind of nod to Torrhen Stark at the very beginning there.
yeah,
Oh God.
I think some of my favorite parts in the episode were
Bless
just
me.
like figuring out what we've got going on the ground. So the Greens little council meeting, the Blacks
Lots of
short little
maps.
council meeting,
Yeah.
um, Chris and Cole and Eamon's private discussion about what they should be doing, Otto and Allison's little discussion, which she is just like slowly becoming him.
Who, Allison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just slowly
It's
turning into Otto Hightower because I really picked up on that during the scene between the two of them, where she's like, "You can't keep undermining me at these council meetings, or Aemon and Aegon will never listen to me." But
right.
yeah, she's
Which is
definitely turning into him.
And that was one thing I wrote down too in my notes was like just I mean, not even just in their group, but even you even go over to the blacks with Damon, very impatient. He wants to go. He wants to go to Harrenhal, and having to deal with waiting on Rhaenyra. But just overall in the two factions of like the internal struggle that is just going on right now is just it's incredible. Um, but yeah, kind of like what you're talking about with Otto and his daughter Allison trying to have their voice heard and to have some respect behind that, you know.
Yeah.
But
I liked Damon's little plan in the beginning of the episode. He's
ugh,
like, "Oh yeah, you and me, and Rainey's, they're just gonna fly to King's Landing and take out
mhm.
Vagar." It's like, "Oh, we'll just do it. Yeah, it'll be easy.
Just do it, man. Just do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
two on
like that's
one.
gonna work out.
We got this."
Yeah.
I mean, I think
He
it could work out for them. They've got two of the bigger dragons that there are.
True, but still though, man. I mean,
It's a big
that's
risk.
that's one of Damon's downfalls is he's very like spur of the moment, let his anger kind of cloud his judgment,
Well, I think
And
that's he
whereas
and
it can be
Eamon are the
good
same like
sometimes,
that.
right? Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I mean, whereas like I would trust him, but at the same time, it's like you have to kind of like think these things out more. You can't just like rush right into that, you know.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
but
these are big moves. These are big decisions.
right. But we saw it in the last couple episodes from last season where it's like he starts kind of like undermining Rhaenyra on some of the decisions. And obviously she made it known to him that she did not like that. And so there's a little bit of kind of struggle there. I think he knows his place. There's nothing where it's like he wants to be in control, but he understands that because he's been in war, the stepstones and everything. He understands that it's like time is of the essence right now. And every second that you're kind of sitting on the sidelines, your enemy is out there working the field, working the castles, and gathering up, soldiers and houses to back them. So it's
Yeah,
just
I
interesting to
feel
kind of see the internal struggle in both factions.
yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say is I feel like it's both sides have that feeling right now and that sense of urgency. Like we gotta move right now. In the Blacks camp, it's we need to take out Vagar. In the
Right.
Greens camps, it's we need to take out Rhaenyra.
Mm,
So
yeah. But then on top of that, both both of them had the same thought of we got to get to Harrenhal. We got to get to Harrenhal
yeah.
because Harrenhal is the key to the Riverlands.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. In Game of Thrones times, it's I don't know, it doesn't hold as strong of a position, I feel like.
Is it who even has Harrenhal by the time of Game of Thrones? I don't even remember.
Well, I don't remember who has it in the beginning. I know it is promised to Littlefinger by
That's true. Yeah.
Tyrion, and
Okay.
then I don't remember who it goes to after that. If it
After that.
stayed with who had it before, maybe the Wents. I almost want to say House Went. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it feels like later on, River Run is more of the central power there. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Did you catch a look at the sword that old Cregan had?
Thing was too big for him, and he was a big boy.
Yeah, it's
Good
ice.
night, nurse, bro.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
ice.
he was
That
carrying
sword
that
is
thing like a
ridiculous.
backpack. He was like,
Yeah,
but it was sick though, bro. That was sick. I did like Kraken, even though we barely got anything from him. I did like the actor that played him, and I thought they did a good job with that. I
yeah,
mean, obviously, I've already said I want to go back to the North already. Miss the North
yeah.
already, man.
And we'll get more from him, but it probably won't be until season 3 or 4.
Dadgummit.
Um, just because his part to play comes so much later. You got to think to really rally the whole North, it takes some time.
Oh, for sure.
And
Well, I was
like
about to
he
say, I
said,
was
like they're
just,
on the edge of winter.
Mhm. Yeah. I was
Um,
about to say, I was kind of reading up on Torin a little more. And yeah, he even said the same thing too when it's like he was trying to come against Aegon the Conqueror. It was like, I mean, this is going to take some time to rally the troops. The
yeah,
North is just so freaking big, man.
yeah.
You know, they couldn't just get in their cars and drive to each other in their George Jetson motor vehicles. Do you even imagine?
And right now it looks like, so I think what they were saying was the Greens they've got the West, because the Lannisters are with them. They've got Storm's End because of Aemon's marriage to one of the Baratheon girls, and they've got who's the other one who had declared for them already? Oh, Old Town. So the
That's a
Reach,
given.
yeah, um, the Reach not in play yet. It's just the High Towers, but
Right. And bookmark, what was his name? Dalton Greyjoy.
yeah,
Bookmark that name, people. It'll come back around, I'm sure.
Old Dalt.
Old Dalt.
Yeah, I liked the offhand mentioning of him there at the end of that sentence.
Dalton
Like,
Greyjoy. What was
we
that?
should, yeah, I was like, we should maybe think about talking to Dalton Greyjoy about being the new Lord
Next scene.
Admiral.
Wait.
Moving on.
Moving on. See, it's
Yeah,
the
and then
little things, man. It's the
it's
little details you have to pay attention to.
it seems like for the Blacks right now, I mean, they're going to try to secure the Riverlands.
Right. They got the veil.
Yeah, they have the Vale and the
They need to
North.
give a dragon back though. That's an interesting exchange. Did you catch that
Well,
part?
yeah, but they just need somebody to guard
Right.
the
I know.
Vale
That's what I'm
against
saying though.
dragons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then, they've got that what I call Aegon special, Aegon the Conqueror special. All those houses that are along the coast there, that have kind of always been allied with, some of them fellow Valyrian houses, the Celtigars. Then you've got the Bar Emmons. So that like a bunch of those other houses that are up and down the coast, those are what I consider, you know, Targaryen loyalists. So they're
Right.
usually with them, but yeah, and then they're with the blacks in this. I think probably because the Valarians are, because Rhaenyra's seats at Dragonstone. But um Laris Strong just worming his way through this entire episode. Did
Yeah,
you notice
we didn't get any feet shots. What the
no, thank
heck?
God. I think hopefully we're done with that, but
He's all like
that was just
feet.
the episode that Quentin Tarantino directed, so
Yeah, oh, God.
it's okay.
I'm surprised he didn't cast himself in the role.
Did you notice how Laris like holds himself differently when he's
Mm-mm, how
talking to
so?
different people?
Like his body language? Is that what you're kind of
Yes.
saying?
So when he's
Okay.
talking to Alicent the first time we see him in the episode,
It's more
he's
kind of
standing
over.
up completely straight
Yeah.
and talking to her like above her. But then when he's talking to Aegon later, he makes himself look as hunched as possible and as small and as meek. It
Okay.
reminded me a lot of Maester Pycelle in Game of Thrones. because he was always like pretending that he was like super hunched over and could barely get around. But when
That's
nobody was
true.
looking, he was walking completely upright, moving very quickly.
Banging chicks.
It's just that it's a camouflage kind of, you know. I mean,
Mm,
Laris plays his part well, and he wants to seem more formidable to people he's trying to manipulate, like Allison,
right. Hmm.
and more weak to the people that he's trying to bring around in their own mind to his ways.
Right.
So
You were indisposed. Mm.
the
Yes, what
princess was
of it?
sick.
Ah, ugh, God. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing with him the rest of the season and even throughout, you know, the the series, you know.
Yeah,
Will he
he
sit the Iron Throne?
oh dear God. What a horrible outcome that would be.
No, jeez. Yeah, that would suck. That would suck. Oh man. Um, Aegon the Magnanimous?
The
Magnanimous?
magnanimous.
Magnanimous. Mhm. No?
Oh, he's like magnanimous. Hmm.
He's like, nah, just trying anything. That one kind of caught me off guard when they said it. I was like, wait, really? Are we really going with that right now? Okay.
The magnanimous.
Yeah, I guess that was just more kind of a little just kind of play around on this show.
I mean,
Um
they're just living it up right now, dude.
oh yeah, they
It's
don't care.
Aegon and a couple of his boys, and
Right.
they're just having a good old
Palling
time.
around,
Yeah,
having some beers.
just
Oh yeah.
having a good time.
Or what do you say? You say later. Aegon, the dragon cock, the untamable beast.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Ah,
God.
man.
As he watched the two guys who kill his son walk right
Oh,
past him.
jeez, Reese. Ah, uh, how excited were you to see the white worm, Josh? That excited? Really? Dang, man. He was
Um,
pumped.
I will say it felt like they dialed her back just a little bit. I know she didn't have a ton of
Yeah,
dialogue in this, but I
it
think
didn't seem as
they
annoying.
they heard the fans, and yeah, I'm glad they made the adjustment because it was just too much, man. Like
They're
that was
like,
terrible. A
can you just
terrible
kind of like
acting.
dial back on that accent? And she's like, that's how I speak. Like,
It's like
that's my
that's just
real
my
accent.
normal
It's like,
voice.
oh, oops. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they'll
but I don't
be,
know. She brings a fair amount to the table,
mm,
and they're gonna
yeah.
need everything they can get on their side. Vagar is, these other things are smaller bombs. Vagar is a nuclear weapon. So they're
You know,
gonna need
I
everything they
never,
can possibly get.
yeah, I never noticed all the holes in his wings, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I never noticed it until that first scene when he's coming back to King's Landing. I'd never noticed it. I don't know why, but I was like, dang.
Yeah, she's got some pretty messed up wings.
Yeah, which makes sense. I'm trying to remember who all was the dragon rider before before him and then before Lena.
Yeah, so it's Lena before him, and then it is. Oh God.
Yeah, I know. There's too much information that we have to remember.
Yeah,
Um Here, I got it.
I got it.
No, I got it. I said I got it first.
Okay.
I called dibs
Um,
first. It was a she dragon.
because it's Visenya originally, but I
Oh,
don't
Balon.
remember. Oh, okay. Balon rode
Yeah.
Vagar.
Balon, Lena, and then Aemon. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
And then
mean,
before Balon, it was Visenya.
I imagine they all didn't look great like post the war with Dorne,
Well,
you know?
right. Well, and I was supposed to say that's the thing about it too, is you have to think, okay, Vagar's not like some new one. I mean, it's the oldest one now, right? Or is Vermithor?
Yes. No, Vagar's the oldest.
Okay. So you'd have to think, yeah, think about all the battles they've been through. Um, so but yeah, even like Dorne, but then even like riding with Balon, I mean, to fight the Triarchy, you probably try or what was it what was the one that we read in Fire and Blood? And I can mention it because it was an older chapter, not a new chapter. So what was the one though? It was during Aemon and or Aemon and Balon's time. Somebody had some scorpions, I thought, but it's like they shot him and it didn't even like really do anything to the dragon.
Yeah, it was when
Was that the Triarchy?
no, it was
Or just
Dorne.
like Pyres? Was that Dorn's?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
that's right. That's yeah. The dude that was like, we're gonna capture 10,000 castles. Like, there's not even like a third of that in the area you're going to, bro.
what are you, yeah, like what are you talking about?
This dude is a moron.
It's like three castles there, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was during that. So
okay.
they take, I mean, I imagine they take a fair amount of damage and there's
Oh, for sure.
arrows flying all over the place. And that's going to be the most vulnerable, like one of the more vulnerable parts of a dragon because those, the wings are like it's like I don't know if it's like a membrane or just tissue, but it's obviously not going to be as hard as dragon scales. So
Right. Ah, I can't read anymore. Spoiler alerts. No. You got anything else? I've run through my notes here.
Um, I mean, just a couple things. How'd you feel about little Luke's funeral?
Spoiling out for Luke. I was kind of surprised they didn't do I mean they burned it, but I'm surprised they didn't do little Dracarys, man. You gonna say the word? You gonna say it? Come on, just say it. Just say the word. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't do that,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
don't know. It wasn't like they're not burning his body.
Right.
So I don't know. They just had
Still
a little
though, man.
pyre. They each like it looked like they each threw something on there of his.
Right. But you would think
And
like just kind of keep tradition of like dying by the fire of a dragon, or whatever.
yeah,
I mean,
again,
it's whatever.
body's
I mean,
not there.
I know, and that's what I'm saying is like I get it, and I'm okay with what they did, but oh, okay. Here's one thing for you. So at the very end there, when they're killing the kid, they're doing the deed.
That was a lot of crunching
Uh,
and sawing.
yeah, like what the hell are they trying to do?
He's got a
Are they
tiny
trying?
neck.
Are they trying to like dig his bones out or what?
No, they're cutting the head off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on there. Um, I was a little like I was a little perturbed that they just kind of like left her be. And I get like she was probably just more in like shock to not really like do much. But I
Helena?
was just, yeah, I was just kind of like, what? Don't just like let her go. What are you doing, you idiot? She's gonna go tell somebody, you
Yeah, but I
know?
think their
And I
whole
get
thing
like,
is like they're just trying like they're gonna get the head, they're gonna be right back in a tunnel and out of there.
yeah, it's true, I
And most
guess.
people don't know the tunnels
Well,
in
yeah, that's
Magor's
true.
hold fast.
Except for Magor and the people who built them, that they're
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah, those people are dead.
Those guys are dead. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was a little, it was like at first I was kind of like, come on, you guys can do better, HBO. Come on now. But yeah, I don't know.
No, I thought it was okay. Because
I was
my
expecting a
first
little more
thought was
gore
like, oh
though.
man, one of them is gonna like grab her, but then I was like, oh no, like they're just gonna be they're getting that head and they're getting out of
They got
there.
what they need and they're getting out. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I expected a little more violence though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bone crushing wasn't enough for me.
I'm glad we didn't have to see it. No, I don't yeah, I don't need that. They didn't even make us watch
Yeah, I didn't even want to
Stannis'
see
daughter
it,
get
but
burned alive, so I don't wanna, let's not start with sawing a kid's head off.
oh jeez. Yeah. Yeah.
Um Yeah, it seems like Kristen Cole and Eamon are really
Banging? No.
starting to
Yeah.
buddy up here.
Buddies. Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna
Yeah.
be the two of them together are gonna be the driving force of the Greens out there in the field.
You think Eamon knows about Kristen?
Um, Probably.
Are you
He's a smart kid. He's very perceptive.
you gonna be my new dad? Is that what it is? Yeah, I was kind of like in that scene where it's like they're looking at the map, they're kind of talking about, strategies and such. And they start talking about, his mom, Allison and such. It was kind of like you kind of tell, I was like, yeah, he knows. He knows. Eamon knows. And then, like you said, he's a smart kid. I mean, he's very observant. His senses are heightened since he lost one eye. But yeah, it's kind of like, oh, this is a little awkward.
How do you feel about the jewel in the eye?
I mean, I'm okay with it. I don't really
Yeah.
care. Do you?
I don't know. I almost think it's more, I don't know. It's got more of a badass look to me if he just like leaves it bare.
Hmm. I
Like
mean, either
the
way, he's still
gem
putting
in
the eye
there is
patch on it, though.
so I don't know.
Yeah.
Feels a lot more high fantasy, I guess. It gives it a little bit more of like a mystical kind of element, you know.
Yeah, but we've only seen it one time too, you know.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
but I can't get it
meh.
out of my brain.
Think of something else. Think of Kristen Cole doing stuff. Now get it out of your brain.
Oh my God. Krusty Cole.
God, I'll never be able to get that out of my brain.
He was in there.
What's going on here? I'm just checking for moles. No, you're good down here. Yeah, that was disturbing. But all in all, it was good. It was one of those where it's like it leaves you wanting more. And I said it however many years ago the first season was, before the season even started. And I'm going to say it now because I'm a glutton for more. Um, I just kind of wish they would. I mean, I'm with you. I enjoy the premiere, Sunday nights. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, give me all of it now so I can just like rush through it and then rush through it again, then rush through it a third time.
Right, yeah, just a
You know?
couple of quick rewatches and
Yeah. And then I'm good to go.
yeah. I'm thinking how we can do this is kind of so on next week's episode, we'll start off talking about maybe a couple things from the previous week's episode that we didn't realize or things maybe we, thought about a different way. You always catch something different on a rewatch. So yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be able to elaborate a little bit more on the previous week's episode and hopefully find a few things that were either foreshadowing or some some more Helena's prophecies would be cool. I know I'm definitely going to be watching for anything she says.
I don't know. We may not be able to get any words out of her now.
Yeah, that's true. She's going to be in a pretty rough spot.
Yeah. So.
Well, cool. Well, that was all I had for this one, man. Do you have anything else?
Me too, man. That was it. Like I said, I'm excited for the rest of the season. And you know what's going to happen? It's going to be over before we know it.
Oh, yeah.
But when was season 1 premiere? Like what year was that? Was that 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago, or like a year.
See,
Yeah, it
that
had to
doesn't
have been
even-
2 years ago.
That doesn't even feel right, man. Feels like it was just like a
2
year ago.
years.
2 years of my life.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get out of here, Curtis.
All
I
right.
don't have I don't have my script.
Oh no, you want me to do it?
Sure.
Okay. Well, let me tell you, folks. We've got this show right here. It's called The Throne of the Dragon. Okay. It's all about HBO's House of the Dragon. You know it. You love it. You want more of it. We'll come back next week, okay? Because we're going to have season 2, episode 2. But hey, in the meantime, make sure to check out our other shows as well. Nice segue, huh? We also have the History of the Corps podcast, where we check out the history and discography of a band from the core genre. We also have the History of the Corps After Hours podcast, where I sit down with my good friend and avid listener of the regular History of the Corps podcast, Eric, and we discuss some of the bands me and Josh have already discussed more in a kind of chilled out interview with a fan. And then we also have the Red Right Hand podcast, which has covered all 6 seasons. Very soon, in like 3 years, probably 2 to 3 years, the movie about the Peaky Blinders. So that's gonna be exciting. Yeah, I think that's it, man. You can go on to Twitter. You can follow us at Is Survived by Productions. You can follow my guy over here, although it's on his side, it's probably looking a different way. But anyway,
Yeah.
You can follow him on Twitter at Joshua Lynn Gary. You need to give us some reviews, people, on whatever podcast service you're using. We would appreciate 5-star review. Would we, Josh? We would.
Oh,
We
yeah.
would. Yeah, we would. Yeah.
Won't accept
On
anything
whatever-
less.
Yeah, exactly. We'll find you. No. We'll send Liam Neeson to your house. Yeah. Whatever podcast service you're using, give us a review, 5 stars, leave us a comment. And if you want to watch the show, you're like, I like enjoy listening to it, but I'd like to see these two goofballs and their faces and their motions, their hand movements and whatnot. Because we talk with our hands, people. We talk with our hands. I am loving this show. You need to go onto YouTube. Just look up Is Survived by Productions, and that'll have every episode from all of our shows. Subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up that video. Alrighty, Josh, I think that's it. And that was just like off the top of my head, man. So I think I've done it about 1 million times by now. So
Yeah.
it's kind of embedded in there. Alrighty, until the next episode next week, Josh. Season 2, episode 1. What do we always like to say, Josh, at the end of every episode?
It's if you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.